back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Olga. A lot of people spent the weekend and are going to spend probably this whole week cleaning up branches and chopping up fallen tree limbs. But what do you need to know when it comes to insurance paying for any of the damage? Joining us this morning is Billy Simons. He's an independent insurance agent with Rust Insurance. We were just talking to Andrea. She has a tree that started in one yard, landed in another. How do you sort all that out?
Well, there's really nothing to sort out. Anything that's fallen on your property is simply your responsibility. No one's responsible for acts of nature. So unless you've notified that neighbor prior to with a letter, certified letter, even though your neighbor right next to you.
Yeah.
And maybe included photos that the tree is sick or damaged and poses a threat to your property,
right,
which would at that point create liability for that neighbor to act prudently and trim the tree or take the tree down. If you haven't done that, if it lands on your yard, oil the chainsaw up.
Get ready.
Get it going. Yeah, unless it's damaged your property, and then you can call your independent insurance agent, and they can get you sorted out with a claim.
One of the other interesting things you brought up is if you're living in a condominium complex or an apartment complex, where do the responsibilities lie?
Yeah, I think it's a common oversight to think that because you don't have a lawn and that necessarily a tree that's a neighbor's tree, that if you live in an apartment building or a condo building, all the things inside of that condo or the apartment are your responsibility. You know, if you live on the third floor of a third-story building and a tree goes right through the roof and into your living room, the people that own the building obviously are on the hook to repair the building, but the things inside of your unit are your responsibility. So you need to make sure you have renter's insurance and condo insurance and homeowner's insurance.
Now, in these, we always hear that with insurance companies, the acts of nature clause. Some insurance companies say they can't control it, so they're not going to pay for it. Where does all this stuff lie? When you start to talk about a tree coming down during a storm that is an act of nature, right? And it hits your property, so are things like that likely to get covered? Let's go back to the condo example. The third floor goes through the roof. Are all those things likely to get covered?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have coverage if it damages your property. It is a covered cause of loss. Okay. So just because it's an act of nature, all that takes away is liability. So if it's your neighbor's tree and a big wind comes through, like what we had on Friday, all that does is take away their liability of having to pay.
Got it.
Now, if you want to do the neighborly thing, it is okay to get out, help them cut the tree up, or pay their deductible if their home has been damaged.
So again, just to reiterate, if the roots are on one side of the property and the extent of the tree is on another side of the property, whatever's on your property line, that's your...
It's all you.
Got it.
Yeah, you've got to be real careful with that. And I think sometimes it can cause a rift between neighbors that are refusing to pay. And, you know, again, it's not their responsibility unless you've notified them prior to the tree coming down.
Good information. Thanks, Billy. We appreciate it. Good to see you. Andrea, back to you.
All right, thank you, Mike. Many people are using portable generators.